Hello Aries, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your connection to the person that you are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. We are looking at all three sides of the connection. We've got your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it. The concept being that there are three sides to every story. So we're looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section purpose is what is the deeper purpose of this connection and what is the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self and ultimately create and attract the relationships that you are deserving and desiring of. As I do in all of my readings, I've gone ahead and pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second, but I still have a different tarot deck we'll be using for each side of this connection, as well as an advice deck that I will be using to close out the reading in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. On that note, this entire reading can be reversed. If that is the case for you, that's totally fine and totally normal. Again, the point of these readings is for you to take what helps and leave what does not. All right, Aries, let's jump on in. On your side of this connection, you have unlocked potentials with the 9 of Wands. Okay, so I feel like we are dealing with a connection either from your past or one that you're in but having a really difficult time with, because in this connection, you see this potential of this person of the connection, which seems to really be kind of a theme in my readings. In these readings is, you know, when we're dealing with someone that we're needing to learn from, we typically have a tendency to, you know, deal with searching for potential in them and being disappointed by the reality of the situation, which is absolutely what's happening here. Because you saw this potential or see this potential in this person, but with the 9 of Wands in reverse, it feels as if something is continuing to keep that potential from being realized. The potential between the two of you, the potential of just this person individually, which would lead to the realization of the potential in between you. Either way, I feel like you're needing to, I just feel like there's more to this connection that you're needing to see than like surface level. Because on this person's side of the connection, there are other priorities with the Temperance in reverse. So it's obvious that this person isn't fully kind of committed to what it takes to make a healthy connection work. You know, showing up with vulnerability, with openness, honesty, willingness to kind of grow, and communicate and things like that. It doesn't feel like this person is prioritizing that, which is obviously very frustrating for you, because in your mind, you're like, man, I see how good things could be. I see how, you know, how good you could be, or, you know, we could be together if you would just do those things. But they prioritize other things. They prioritize, you know, they don't prioritize the things that matter, which is extremely frustrating for you and brings about a lot of disappointment for you. Because in between this connection, you have we outgrew each other with the 5 of Cups, and then the overall theme is transformation. So I feel like what you're mainly disappointed in this connection is this person they're not growing with you. You know, one of the best ways that we can know that we have found the person, you know, a partner that is going to be sustainable is when we find the person that's willing to grow with us. And I feel like a lot of your frustration in this connection is that this person isn't willing to do those things. And this connection is kind of pushing you into kind of more of a personal transformation. And you're wanting this person to come with you. You're saying, I love you. I care about you. I want you on this journey with me. Please, you know, come with me on this. And it feels as if it's just not something that I don't know if it's that they're not taking seriously, or they don't, you know, the first step in any kind of change is recognizing that things need to change, right? The first step in recovery is needing to recognize you have a problem. And if this person is kind of lacking that level of self-awareness or emotional awareness to be able to say, you know what, I do need to change, or I do need to grow, or I do need to heal, I do need to evolve. You know, it can be very frustrating for you because you obviously see the ways that they need to do those things, and because you see where they're at now versus the potential you see in them, and you're wanting them to realize that potential, but it just feels like they're not doing what they need to do to reach that potential, and you've been bearing the burden of that. And I feel like that's where the problem is lying. So let's see here, Aries, your side of this connection to the person you're dealing with, unlocked potentials with the 9 of Wands in reverse. This is for Aries' side of the connection to the person they're dealing with. Okay, yeah. I was like trying to flip it over and the card literally felt like it was like, no, this is upside down. Okay. I feel like you, in the beginning of this connection or earlier in the connection, I feel like you had a lot of hope in this, a lot of hope in this person, a lot of hope in the potential. And over time, that hope has started to diminish. It's almost like you've started to just lose hope in this connection's overall ability to get to where you know it could be. And I feel like that's caused you, I don't know if you've necessarily withdrawn, but I feel like it's kind of caused you to look at things a little bit differently. Because with the 4 of Wands in reverse here, I don't know, you know, when we are in a connection with someone hoping that things change, we kind of get ourselves stuck in this cycle of like hoping that they'll change and then being hurt and disappointed when they don't. And then something happens that makes us hope, and then we're disappointed when things don't change. And we kind of just, you know, get stuck in the cycle until eventually we're exhausted. You know, we no longer believe them when they say that they're going to change or that things are going to be different. You know, we no longer believe that they're going to get better. And I feel like that kind of started or has happened in this connection. Yeah, because there's the cycle, the world in reverse here. Let's get more. Yeah, there's the burden. The 10 of, these are both in reverse. It's the 10 of Wands in reverse, 6 of Pentacles in reverse. So you, and I said this already, how you've been bearing the burden of like this person's, I don't know, it could be so many different things. Emotional unavailability. It could be like financial struggles. Like it feels like you've been kind of bearing the burden and the mental and emotional load of the connection because of where this person is at. And it's not that they're like, it's not that they don't love and care about you. I don't get that at all. It just doesn't feel like they're showing up for you, for the connection. And it leaves you bearing the weight of all of it. Because you're sitting here going, I am trying to make this work. I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to grow and be the best version of myself while also, you know, wanting you to come with me. And I'm trying to take care of the house and the kids and making sure that everything's done on time. And you're not showing up. You're there, you're here, but you're not really there. You know, that's what it kind of feels like, is it just feels like this person is just like not present in the connection, and it's leaving you going, this is so much for me to bear and so much for me to handle, because it kind of feels like, I don't want to say like I don't know, it kind of feels like this connection makes you feel alone, more so than it makes you feel supported. Not all the time, but definitely more so recently. All right, Aries side of this connection, unlocked potentials, the 9 of Wands in reverse. This is Aries side of the connection. See, you don't want things to fall apart. Like, you don't want or didn't want to lose this person, if that's something that resonates. Because I do feel like this person like you love them, you care about them, you want what's best for them. I feel like that's what it comes down to, is when you're talking about like wanting them to grow and heal with you, you want what's best for them at the end of the day. But you know, one of the hardest things that I've had to learn in my life is we can want what's best for others, but we can't make them make those decisions, right? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You can tell a person all the ways that they could improve or things could be better, but you can't force it in that direction. And I feel like there's a lot of anxiety present in this connection, and ultimately kind of coming from your side, because you're you want what's best for them, but it just feels like they're not showing up for themselves or for you. Well, if they're not showing up for themselves, they're certainly not showing up for you. And I feel like that strikes a lot of fear in you, that maybe you're never going to be loved, or you're never going to be valued or cared about in the way that you desire, whatever kind of the case might be. But I do absolutely feel as if this is the best way I can describe it, and I feel like I'm going to say this and then I'm going to explain it a little further, is it feels like you've kind of been growing and evolving and moving up, and this person's been staying the same. Now, I'm not saying you're better than them or you're above them, but that's what life is about, right? Life is about introspection and growth and trying to do things differently so you attract new outcomes and situations. And it kind of just feels like this person is complacent with where they're at, and that's started to affect you, because you are transforming, you are changing, you are growing, and it almost kind of feels like this person's holding you back. And you don't want that to be the case, and I'm not saying that's going to be the case forever, but that is kind of this energy that you're putting off toward this connection. Now let's see what they're dealing with. There are other priorities with the Temperance in reverse. This person's energy toward Aries. What does Aries need to know about this person's energy toward them? Person's energy toward Aries. Okay. See, I don't think they need to change. There's some self-sabotaging behavior showing up here. The Hierophant in reverse, the Hangman in reverse. I mean, these are both energies of kind of like needing a different perspective, holding on to how things have been, or the past, or past version of them. It just kind of feels like they don't think that things need to change, that they need to change. They don't see anything wrong with their behavior, which is probably even more frustrating for you because you've been so affected by it. And I'm not saying you haven't tried to tell them that it's affecting you. I'm just saying, you know, this person seems to kind of lack a little bit of self-awareness to be able to be like, you know what, I do need to change. This is affecting Aries. And, you know, not only do I want to change for Aries, but I want to change for myself. It just feels like they're very complacent. It's the best way of describing that. Yeah, they're just kind of like, I don't know, going through life. A little bit of an immature energy here. Person does need a little bit of a wake-up call, I'm not gonna lie, but you might not be able to be the one to give it to them. People don't change for other people, unfortunately. You know, they change when they realize that they need to, and that's usually not connected to us at all. This person's energy toward Aries. Yeah, it's like they don't see anything wrong with their behavior. Okay, this might not be for everyone, but their job could make them emotionally unavailable. Their work, That could be something like they're over prioritizing work and not the connection. That could be something. I'm not saying that it is. Because the other way that I see this is this person is coming from an emotionally unavailable place. It's almost like they're not capable of opening up to the type of connection that you're looking for. But yet, they're putting all of this energy into other things. And I feel like that's probably what's so frustrating for you, is it feels like they're showing up for everyone but you. Like they're showing up in their life for everybody else and everything else, but when it comes to like the connection into you, they're not. And that is probably very frustrating because you're going, well, why not me? Why am I not good enough to get shown up for? Why am I getting, I don't want to say, I don't feel like this person's necessarily taking advantage of you. I feel like there's an overall general kind of just lack of gratitude for the energy that you provide. Now, that tends to happen in long-term relationships. If there's anything that I've made to be 100% sure about what I can control in my current relationship is that the thing that I focus the most on is how grateful I am for my partner. The thing, not just the things that he does, but just the fact that he exists and just different things about him, like focusing on gratitude. Because when you're with a connection for a long time, you kind of start to lose that gratitude. Like it's kind of like that you don't know what you have until it's gone. Like that's sad. That shouldn't be the case, right? You should be able to appreciate what you have while you have it. But it kind of feels, I don't know, it just feels like this person is, their energy is tied up in other things. And so they're not able to kind of show up in this connection, even though you've been, I feel like, pretty freaking consistent here in the connection. Pretty much a constant in showing up for them. This person's energy toward Aries. That's too many. What does Aries need to know about this person's energy towards them? When too many come out, it's like overwhelming to try to break down the message. Like when a message can build on itself. Three of Wands in reverse. The Knight of Cups. Ooh, okay, Devil in reverse. This also might not be for everyone, but you could be dealing with someone who's kind of struggling with like addiction or mental health issues, toxic habits. Addiction to like a job is a very real thing. Addiction to like constantly needing success or validation through a career is a very real thing. But anyway, it's not that this person, because the Knight of Cups to me is like this person they have feelings for this connection. They care about this connection. I don't get any kind of vibe that this person is a bad person or that they're like trying to hurt you. I don't get that at all from them. I just feel like this, because the Three of Wands in reverse is kind of an energy of comfort zone complacency. And it feels like that's where they're stuck. They're very stuck in the complacency of their life and of, the level of which this connection is at. Now, of course they are, right? You're bearing the burden of most of this, so it's going to be easier for them than it is for you. So why are they going to be like, I don't see anything wrong with this, and you're over here like, I am literally doing everything. Like I'm carrying the emotional load, the mental load, all the decisions have to be mine, or it just kind of feels like you're stuck taking care of everything, and then this person is like, I don't want to see what the problem is. You're like, of course you don't. You're not showing up. It's almost like if you stopped taking care of everything, this person would be like, oh, and they'd start to kind of see. I'm not saying that you should, that wasn't advice. I feel like they don't really, it's not that they don't see your value, because I do feel like they recognize that you have value. It's just, I don't think that it just kind of feels like they take you for granted. That's what it comes down to. It feels like they take you and have taken you for granted for a really, long time, Aries. Or this is a cycle for you in your relationships, kind of getting taken for granted. But okay, let's get more for your side. What else does Aries need to know regarding this side of the connection? Because yeah, it does. It feels like you kind of feel alone here. Aries side of the connection to the person they're dealing with. So there's the cycle. A cycle. The Justice in reverse. Yeah, and then there's the Three of Wands in reverse with the King of Swords. You could be dealing with an air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. You definitely don't have to be. It's just they're showing up here as this King of Swords. And then there's the Three of Wands in reverse. So this is definitely their energy it's referring to. You know what? Why I kind of laughed at this message is like, you're stuck in a cycle of getting a little screwed over by this person. Like, getting the short end of the stick. It feels like the scales are very imbalanced in this connection, but it feels like this person is just blissfully unaware of that fact. I don't know how, because it's very blatantly obvious. Like the imbalance in the energy is very obvious. So I don't know. Maybe this person doesn't want to admit it. Ego, pride. You know, there could be so many different kinds of reasons here. But yeah, you're definitely stuck in this cycle of just kind of getting screwed over here. And it feels like it happens over and over again. Like, the best way I could think of it is like you show up for them constantly. Like, you're there when they need you. You know, do things for them. You're willing to help them with things. But then, like, when it comes time to you needing help, this person's like, oh, sorry, I'm busy that day. You're like, what the hell? Like, it's just kind of what it feels like. And I think that for anybody in any kind of relationship, romantic, platonic, familial, that's going to be hard. You know, that's going to be really difficult to deal with, because over time you're going to start to feel like you're not being valued. When in reality, I think it's just that your energy's being kind of taken for granted here. Because, yeah, this person definitely needs a little bit of a wake-up call. But, all right. Aries side of this connection. Tower. What is this tower? There was a tower moment that happened. What was this tower? What is this tower here? You? Queen of Wands with the tower. I kind of get this energy that you were like, I don't know if you kind of got to this point where you're like, enough is enough. That's kind of what it feels like with the tower. Like, you were like, enough is enough. I can't do this. Almost like you had a bit of a wake-up call and you were like, this isn't fair. This is not fair to me. I don't know what happened with that tower though. There's more air sign energy here. Yeah, I don't know, because it feels like you were the tower. You were the tower. What? I want more on this really quick. You were the tower. Queen of Wands at the tower. I know I keep repeating that. I'm just like trying to figure out what it means. Queen of Swords in reverse. Oh, there's the King and Queen of Swords that I was just talking about. I mean, it kind of feels like you stood up for yourself. Queen and King of Swords with the Seven of Wands. Like, there was a little bit of a, yeah, like you stood up for yourself. You set a boundary, or you spoke up or something. And maybe caused conflict. Either way, this might not have felt like the most positive energy, but I like this energy. Because it feels like you were like, yeah, it's like you had a bit of a wake-up call where you were like, this isn't fair. Something's got to give. Something's got to change. Aries side of this connection. Ooh. Ooh. Ace of Pentacles in reverse of the Three of Cups. It's like you want things to go either like back to how they were before, or you want them to go, like you want them to evolve into that potential that you know that it can be. I feel like it's one or the other here. And I feel like you've been pretty willing to do whatever it takes to make that happen. But then, yeah, then you have this person over here just like, doo-doo-doo. Aries has got it. Aries will fix this. There's a problem. It's fine. Aries got it. And you're like, oh my God, that's the whole point. Like, that's the whole thing that I'm trying to, I need help. Like, I need a partner here. And it just feels like you, I don't know, bearing the burden of all of this. And that isn't fair to you. I can tell you that for sure. But I feel like you're like, yeah, I know. I'm the tower. Remember, I realized that. I don't know. It just feels like there's something deeper, though. There's something deeper. So let's keep going. This person's energy toward Aries. So they self-sabotage because of a lack of self-worth here. A lack of knowing their value, of having confidence in themselves. Now, and I'm not saying that this person doesn't have an ego. They could definitely have an ego. They might like the way that they present themselves to others, but yeah, there's like this lack of, I don't know, like lack of, like in their mind, they're like, why would I even, now this might not be something they're consciously thinking, but it's like, why would I even try? I'd probably just fail. Like, I'm not good enough for Aries anyway, so I might as well just sabotage the connection. I might as well just not try, because it's easier to not try than it is to try and fail. So that's why I feel, because it feels like they're so lackadaisical about this. Like, they're just like, it like seems as if they couldn't care less. I don't think that's true, though. I think they do very much care. But it just feels like their energy is very just kind of like they don't. I don't know. It does. It feels a little childish, like I said, but let's get more. Because it's not, I want the biggest thing that you take away from this reading to be that their lack of kind of effort, because that's what it comes down to. It's a lack of effort. Their lack of effort in this connection is not a reflection of your value. I feel like it has to do with, like, I don't know, what's going on with them, right? We talked about how you're growing, you're evolving, and they're not. And that's no reflection of you or anything. It's just kind of it happens, right? It does. We kind of outgrow people sometimes. And it's really hard, but all right, this person's energy toward Aries. And I'm not saying that this connection is doomed. I don't know. There's something deeper here. Because any two people can make a connection work as long as both people are willing to do the work to make it work. And you've obviously been willing to do that. I don't know if they are. This person's energy toward Aries. Yeah, because they have a lot of love here. There's the Two of Cups. They don't want to lose you. They don't want to lose this connection. So why the hell are they not doing anything about it? That's what's so confusing. And I feel like that's the self-sabotage. I mean, it's the classic story of, not pursuing a dream or a goal because you already expect failure. It's kind of what it's like. It's like, I love and care about Aries, but I don't think I'm good enough for Aries, so I might as well just mess it up. Because, yeah, they do love and care about you. There's no doubt about that. It's just that, like, they don't want to lose the connection, but they're not doing a damn thing about it. This person's energy toward Aries. One more. This is interesting. Like, and I get why this energy is frustrating because, I get it. This person's energy toward Aries. Because, yeah, you're frustrated with their lack of growth. So there you are. Why are you the message here? Is that upright or? I wanted it to be upright. Well, hang on. Let me get more on the Six of Pentacles in reverse. More on the Six of Pentacles in reverse here. Yeah, the lack. But is this something they're aware of? That's what I want to know. I mean, this is literally them saying they're not reciprocating your energy. Like, they're not. So I don't know if they're aware of it. Oh, no, it's a protection mechanism. It's easier for them to prioritize other things because, you know, people, it is so much easier to stay the same than it is to grow. It is so much easier to stay complacent and to be, you know, the same as you were last year and the year before than it is to grow. Because growing requires facing uncomfortable situations. It requires facing yourself in uncomfortable ways. It requires facing uncomfortable truths about your, you know, your life and your past. And it is not an easy thing to do. Anyone who's on this journey, which my guess is if you're watching my readings, you are, you know that growth is not comfortable. That's like the whole thing. So if this person is committed to being comfortable, then they're committed to not growing. And that's kind of like where this lack of reciprocation is coming from, or like lack of effort is coming from, is it's just like this person doesn't want to change because they don't want to face those things. Now, remember, 95% of our movements, choices, and decisions that we make in this life comes from our subconscious. Only 5% of the way that we interact with our reality is conscious. So I'm not saying this person is sitting there thinking, oh, it's a lot easier for me to not grow and, you know, sabotage this connection than it is for me to grow and show up in a better way for it. I'm not saying they're consciously aware of these things. It's that, you know, if we are used to letting our subconscious patterns run the show, and when we haven't done the work to become aware of them, then, which is the hard part, right, that this person isn't going to want to do, or doesn't want to do, then it's going to control our life. Our fear, our insecurity, our trauma is going to control our decision making. We're going to self-sabotage. We're going to push away good things. We're going to, you know, not show up in ways that we ultimately should. And that, you know, it kind of comes down to realizing that this person isn't consciously choosing to hurt you. I don't believe that at all. I just think that they haven't done any kind of work on themselves to show up in this connection in the way that you are looking for and ultimately deserve. And so that is why, you know, you're kind of needing to see that this person, not, you know, the lack of effort and just kind of where this person is coming from, it's not an indication of their value. It's an indication of their, it's not an indication of your value. It doesn't mean that you're not good enough or that you're not doing enough or you're not showing up enough or you're not lovable enough. It has nothing to do with you and everything to do with this person's unawareness and unwillingness to grow, which is frustrating. That is, but it's also not your burden to bear. And I feel like you've got to put that burden down, and maybe you have. Maybe that's what this tower was, is just kind of enough. Or maybe that tower was you exploding about something like this person leaving dishes in the sink, or this person texting you back like a little bit later than they said they would. And it's a small thing, but you're like, it frustrates you so much because it's not that one event, right? It's not the lack of effort of leaving the dishes in the sink or texting you back a little bit late. That's not what you're upset about. You're upset about how much this has happened and how much you've been bearing the burden of the connection, and that's valid. But, you know, I ultimately think that, you know, you have to make the decisions that are best for you by making sure that you're setting boundaries in association with what it is that you need, so that this doesn't keep happening, because this is very much draining you. All right, in between this connection, we outgrew each other with the 5 of Cups. We have 9 different messages to pull, looking at the deeper purpose of this connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. And then I have an advice card to close out the reading with at the very end. Thank you so much, Aries, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, Aries, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Aries.